Hey guys, do you remember yesterday when I made that video updating you guys on my reviews and how I wasn't quite sure if I was going to be doing NXT reviews? This is an NXT review. Yes, Hulu has put up the recent episode of NXT, and I'm going to review it for you guys right now. This episode aired September 27th, or 26th, pardon me. And it actually starts off with a Cassius Ohno video package showing what he has done the last couple of weeks. One to Richie Steamboat, which saw his dad Ricky Steamboat run in. And then he had a sparring session on the last episode, pardon me, thus enraging Richie Steamboat and chasing Cassius Ohno away. So after we get our intro, we go to our opening match, Michael McGillicuddy against Bo Dallas. And I have to say this was an interesting match. Because I haven't seen McGillicuddy on TV in a long time. And Bo Dallas, I know, is the brother of Husky Harris, the son of Mike Rotundo, the IRS man. But this was an interesting match. Both of them were about the same height, about the same weight. Bo Dallas gets the advantage early on in the bout. He does almost like 3 running bulldogs in a row. And then they go to the outside for a little bit. And if you watch this episode, I want you guys to pay attention to one fan in particular. He is wearing a chicken mask. I wish I was kidding, but it's the truth. He's wearing a chicken mask. So they go back into the ring, and then McGillicuddy rams Bo Dallas into the post. We go to a commercial break. After we come back from the break, McGillicuddy is in control of Bo Dallas. Action gets a little bit better. I like the end of the match. Bo Dallas is making a comeback. McGillicuddy's into the ropes. Referee's trying to break it. And then McGillicuddy hits him with a clothesline, and then McGillicuddy hits Bo Dallas with a running neck breaker, and it looked absolutely awesome. 1, 2, 3, Michael McGillicuddy gets the win. Now we get a little spotlight, a little profile segment on Paige. And oh my God, this girl's a 10. This girl's a 10, straight up. So she's got the British accent, and there's this one line where she says, "I'm sure that the NXT universe has a bunch of questions for me." Yeah, I do. 1, are you single? 2, if you are, can I go on a date with you? 3, if you're not single, can I still go on a date with you? 4, when can I see you in a bikini? She's hot. What can I say? So after the Raw rebound, which I really don't need to go into, we go to our next match, Jake Carter, the son of Vader, going up against Leo Kruger. Now, I've heard stuff about Leo Kruger. I had never seen him before until this episode. This dude's for real. This guy's going to be something special. I got a feeling. I mean, he just has this presence about him. He really does. It's like he's like a tweener. He could be a heel, but he could be a face. But he's so sadistic, the character is. It's really good. And pretty much Kruger has control of the entire match. Carter does get a little bit of offense in, but it's not a lot. The match ends when Leo Kruger hits his finishing move, which is called the Kruger Edge, which is basically a neck breaker, but then he turns it and slams him, is the best way to describe it. Leo Kruger gets the win. So after we come back from another break, it's Ryback time. And Ryback still has his pink eye at this point in time. He faces 2, I just wrote down 2 jobbers. They didn't show their names. I don't even remember their names. But the funniest moment is, within like the first minute of the match, one of them accidentally rips Ryback's singlet, like right at the collar. and it looked like it pissed Ryback off. It really did. But it's your typical 2-on-1 jobber match. Ryback gets the win with the Ryback Stomp. That's what I call it, the Ryback Stomp. And he wins. So after another commercial break, it's feature time. Cassius Ohno against Richie Steamboat. And Jim Ross is joining the announcers, which are Byron Saxton and William Regal on commentary. And I have to admit, and I sort of feel bad for myself for saying this, but I honestly thought at first it was Joey Styles with William Regal, but it was Byron Saxton, and I hadn't heard Saxton's voice in a long time. So for a little while, I was like, Joey Styles is on NXT? Wow, this is great. No, but, so those three were doing commentary for the main event. This was the best match on the show. Actually, this entire show was a good episode, I thought. And Richie Steamboat looks like his dad as far as his wrestling moves. The chops are just like his dad. Ono, Chris Hero, whatever you want to call him, one of the best in the world. So these guys have a really good match. Steamboat starts off, he gets 3 quick near falls, but couldn't quite get it. He dominates Ono for a while, and then as Steamboat is on the apron, Ono has him, runs him into the post, and he goes down. When we come back from commercial, Ono has the cravat on Richie Steamboat, and then you get this great, 45 to a minute of the match where these guys are just chopping each other. Like, Ono chops Steamboat 3 or 4 times, and then Steamboat comes back with a chop. Then Ono chops it. Then Steamboat, Ono, Steamboat, Ono, Steamboat, Ono. It just happens for a whole minute, and it's a really good part of the match. And then the conclusion of the match, Steamboat goes into the corner. Ono hits him with a splash, sends him to the rope. He's going to hit the rolling elbow, but Steamboat reverses it into a small package. 1, 2, 3. Richie Steamboat gets the win. And then after the match, Ono, upset, hits the rolling elbow from behind. And then he, stretches Richie Steamboat until 5 referees come down to the ring to try and break it up, which they do. Ono wants more of Richie Steamboat, but it doesn't quite happen that way. And that's basically the end of this episode of NXT. All in all, first time watching this version of NXT, I was impressed. I thought the wrestling was good on this episode, with the exception of the Ryback match, because it was 2 jobbers, and like I said, I don't even remember their names. The matches, got good wrestlers, interesting characters. McGillicuddy and Bo Dallas was a good opener. Leo Kruger, this guy's won me over in a heartbeat. This guy is going to be something special. I got a feeling with this one. And Cassius Ohno and Richie Steamboat put on a good match. These two need to be in WWE right now. They need to be on Raw. They need to be on SmackDown. These 2 guys are ready. And if neither one of them are on the main roster by the end of this year, I got a feeling that early next year, we're going to see Cassius Ohno and Richie Steamboat full-time on the roster. But this was a good episode. Definitely worth checking out, especially for the main event, Ohno and Steamboat. And also for the opening match, McGillicuddy and Bo Dallas. That was a fun opening match to see. Nothing fancy, nothing, expensive or anything. It's almost like going to a regular indie show, but the setting, what it reminded me of? It reminded me of when WCW, back in the day, when they used to tape shows at the MGM studios, either it be for Worldwide or WCW Pro Wrestling or the main event, and they tape these matches in front of this small crowd, the studio-like crowd. This is what NXT is to me, it's a small but good crowd. You get real good wrestling. And you get just some of the best talent right there. Some of the wrestlers that aren't being used by WWE, and then others that are waiting in the wings, and every once in a while you get a guest like Ryback, and it was just fun to see. I thought it was a good episode. I'm going to definitely keep reviewing NXT in the upcoming weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed this first review of NXT, and there will be many more to come in the upcoming weeks.